that you actually post a career, you can go whatever direction. It gives you a basic knowledge, where I think if you look into most of the players, even for the past, even today, the most important, the crucial and the difficult part is after your career, what are you going to do? There's a big question mark, enormous question mark, Yes, you might have opportunity in the TV media, but not everybody has that opportunity or has the kudos to do that, and so you have to go into that kind of normal life again, where for 20 years everything was done for you. You're focusing on your fitness and make sure on Saturday you're fit and play, and suddenly on the weekend you have to entertain yourself and make sure you're doing something, and it's a big change mentally, emotionally, of course, at the same time. And then if you haven't got a direction to start with, you are a completely lost soul out there. And people think, but you had the money or you've got the fame, and all of that comes into people who are not within the industry or potentially don't know. Actually, you're not fame anymore. Maybe you got potentially some money on the side, but that doesn't help you to move forward. You're still only 35 years old. Actually, other people within 35 years, they're in a well-positioned, I would say, within the company, the directors, or earning some substantial good money as well, or starting to earn money, for the next 20, 30 years. And you have to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it might help you at the beginning, but it doesn't help you to go into the next life, where you have to either reinvent yourself to start with, and that's super difficult. If you haven't got even a basic potential education, most women might not have lucky to do that or never done during their career. And you have to look for another option after the post career, and that's the difficult part. Very, very, very difficult. Very, very difficult for any player, and even today. And I think still today is not as much help within the industry to do that, and that's why you can see a lot of players, lost soul, and potentially also from mental health as well. It comes to depression in place because, of course, most of the players are a lost soul, and the pride may come into it, that don't think they need help because they were players, and then maybe sometimes it's too late then, and it's that's why I'm very, very kind of glad that I had that kind of education platform from the beginning in Zurich, and I think I will consider every youngster who plays in the future should definitely do at least an education whilst he's potentially playing a football career,
Okay, so whilst you pursued a career in finance, and you were working in in the city, and you used to play, if I'm right, you used to go and play sort of just to get away from it. You go and play five-a-side lunchtime sort of football, but didn't necessarily get recognised. So, how was that for you? Because I remember.
Sorry, I'm back.
It's all right. How was that for you? Because I remember when I used to work sort of around Old Street area, and there used to be a lunchtime league down there, and I used to play there. And Ray Houghton used to play, and he was consulting for like a sport, a computer company. And I mean, when he first rocked up there, I nearly fell over. I was like, "My God, it's Ray Houghton! Oh my God!" and he was like, he was a really nice guy, really, really nice gentleman, and he had a word with everyone, had a word for everyone. No one was too, it wasn't too much effort. But on the pitch, you wouldn't think it was just like a five-a-side lunchtime kick around. I mean, the man was an absolute demon. the absolute shit that he gave his team, if they misplaced the pass, or if he passed the ball and they didn't anticipate that the pass was going there, or they had a shot and they fucked up the shot, God, he gave them dogs abuse. And I'm like, this man's been to the World Cup. Like, he's one shit. Why does he give a fuck about a 20-minute game at lunchtime?
Oh, well, this is the old-fashioned competitive. Once you're within that competitive industry, small games, you don't really care.
Were you like that as well? When you were playing those games, were you like that as well?
When you start that game, you don't care. You want to win. You win there. It's not a little kind of passing. It's really kind of you want to win, and that's why you want to be a professional football player. You want to be competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay. Just very quickly,
okay.
Because like time's moving on. Sarah, did you had a couple of questions about FIFA?
Yes.
Yeah, you had. There's lots of publicity around your thoughts about running in 2015, but when I was looking at it earlier, it also suggested that you might have been thinking about it in 2019. I didn't know if that was true, and if it was true, you obviously feel like you can do something different that FIFA are not doing. And I wondered what that looked like, because they're not without their criticism in recent years. What would you do different? What do you think they lack?
Well, I say it's a good question. I think there's a lack of many transparency side of it within that organization. I think even today, they're talking about it, but I think it's only talk, to be honest with you. I think they're using it today even more as a political tool than actually doing to the football side, I think the grassroots and the balance of equal competitive side within football industry has widened massively. The bigger gets bigger, the smaller works get smaller. And I think this is one of the things, is quite something I'm very scared in terms of going forward. It's already happened even in England, and within the Europe in terms of the Champions League. Now they want to organize bigger tournaments, etc.
Yeah.
But the key and the main ecosystem within the football industry is the grassroots. Without grassroots, there's no professional football team. As simple as that, If you want to play with your own little club, then you can do it, but don't play with a global audience. And I think football is for everybody, for every kid and everybody's dream. And if you don't give them the access to do that, then you dilute the interest of the kids of that sport. And it's happening not just because of that, but it's happening by other influence in terms of the gaming side, PlayStation side and everything. So we have to be very careful that the grassroots has to have a very equal competitive development side worldwide and globally, not just the European side. We're talking here, when we're talking FIFA, it's a global, it's not just a local issue, and each one has its own obvious issue as well locally, but I think it's key. That's one of the stuff, without a doubt, has to be implemented within that. Of course, I got many other points. I'm not going to declare it here, otherwise
be here all night.
Not just all night. I will take it on behalf of me and doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, it's the thing of why I believed it is because there's many ways I can change many stuff, and then not just with us being ex-player, having the grassroots went through and feel, but also having the business side knowledge within the industries that's grown in the last 20 years massively. Yeah. Having that kind of combination, but balance, not just the business side, but it has to be football as well and make it competitive,
Yeah.
And I think that kind of knowledge and balance, there's no doubt I can bring that to the table, and never knows in the future, might be another opportunity.
Because I think David Ginola, he was also thinking, wasn't he, of going down that road?
Well, I don't know if he was thinking seriously or he was just trying to get publicity. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Spurs take over FIFA. That's what
when you're ready to launch your campaign seriously, we'll have you back on and we'll have bells and whistles and fanfares and everything. and everything for you. So
absolutely. Thanks for that.
Okay. So
Yeah, it'd be great.
All right, guys.
Fantastic. So couple of things before we wrap up. First of all, we do a little fun slot where we look at Gareth Bale's interviews and we try and guess the number of times he says "yeah" within an interview, because it's a thing within his interviews, and we call it Gareth Bale "yeah bingo." He played yesterday and he got interviewed after the game. He did a 3-minute, I think it was a 3-minute and 3-second interview. So we're looking for the number of years. You don't get anything for it, just the kudos of being either on the nail or the closest to it. So I'll let the regulars go first to give you an opportunity to gauge off of them as to which way you want to go. So, Andy, 3 minutes and 3-second interview. How many years do you think that Gareth Bale managed to fit into that period?
17.
Okay, good stuff. Good. Sarah?
I was going to go 19.
Okay,
higher.
Good.
Fairly close.
So,
Go in the middle, Raymond.
I would. So I would. So how much? I know the answer obviously, so I can't guess. So how much would you go for, Ramon?
I have to go in the middle now. 18 there, isn't it?
Oh,
go for that.
No, I think. I know it's International Women's Day, but I think you should allow yourself to have your own opinion on this one, because she may be steering you a bum steer there.
behind every good man is a woman, right?
Wait a minute. What's going on?
Whether it be a mother or a sister.
So okay, so we've got 17 Andy, Ramon 18, and Sarah 19. Now, bearing in mind he seems to go in bursts. So what happens is he'll say one or two, then he might go yeah, and he'll do a burst of 3. So in that time anyway, he managed 25. So yeah,
I was going to 23 nearly, but anyway, doesn't matter.
Well, there you go. See, there you
Sorry,
go.
Raymond.
So she,
no worries.
She, after you were nice to her and everything earlier on, and she just took advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're being nice to him when he stitched you up with the flowers.
I've still got to nip out to the garden and get some. So right, anyway, it's time for last orders. Last orders at the bar. So we've got 3 games to try and get predictions for. So first game is home leg against Dinamo Zagreb on Thursday. Sarah, what are your thoughts? 2-0.
2-0.
Okay, perfect. To us, I hope.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, cool. Excellent. Andy?
Tone of voice.
3-1 Spurs.
3-1 Spurs. Good stuff. Ramon?
Well, I was going for that 3-1, by the way.
So you can still go with for 3-1. It makes Andy look like he knows what he's talking about.
Oh, goodness me, Well, listen.
That'll be a first, yeah.
It depends if the front guy's playing again. Maybe I'll even go up to 4-1.
Okay.
Yeah,
4-1.
We're at home. So, yeah.
Okay. I think I'm gonna pitch in on the 3-1 as well. I think I do feel that there'll be a change in the centre back partnership. There'll be a little rotation in there for the first time. So I think that he now sees this potentially as our Premier League partnership, those two. So they've played, I think, 3 games in succession. So I think they'll get it us on Thursday. Then we move from there to the North London derby away. Ramon, we'll go with you first on this one.
Has to be. I would say a good 3-1 for Spurs.
3-1 win for excellent.
Spurs, yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm going confident into that game.
Happy days. Go on then, Andy.
They're fired up. I think they're fired up for the...
You're not going as confident as I am, Ramon. I'm going to go 0-15. 1-5.
Oh, my. This is taking the piss nearly now.
Oh, dear.
Sarah?
I think there's going to be goals on both sides, to be honest with you. I think it means a lot to both sets of players to have one over it. I think I think it'll be something like 4-3, 3-3, something like that, high scoring.
God,
I think